of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection, and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing.
Oh, hey folks, Dude here, yet again, an iteration of Dude After Dark. This one, of course, being a second iteration of utilizing the hopefully new and improved microphone setup. I am currently rocking this thing, and hopefully it's doing what it needs to do. Potentially, I don't think I want to touch any buttons because literally the setup I have is sound guy. It's not that sketch. Okay, what could be sketch though is the situation they're in where I basically have a device that was supposed to be hitting my address. I was supposed to get the device, and I was supposed to be utilizing that currently for my podcasts. However, sound guy, it just
Come on, squeal.
Don't want to come.
No, I stopped that, okay? No, it's not like it didn't want to come. It didn't come, okay? Sound guy, you really gotta watch out for that one, okay? It's just
Don't want to come. Do not come. Do not come. Don't come.
okay. It was not like that. Not like that. So the device that I actually was intending to purchase was on eBay. Okay, very, very simple. You basically buy the thing, nothing too terrible crazy. You just buy it, and it's not caca. So anyway, I went on. Stop that. Okay, I went on eBay and I was intending to purchase the device. However, the person that was intending to sell me the device didn't ship it. They didn't even give me an update in terms of stuff going on currently that's being shipped. So right off the bat, I'm a little annoyed with all this ship. And I do mean something ending in P, not in the other letter. So anyway, way, shape, and form, which we find ourselves, I am currently now still awaiting this thing. Hasn't hit me yet. So what I told eBay to do is to say, look, no. Taking too long, not playing these games. I got burned before on eBay for like $150. After that, I learned my lesson. If somebody's going to be playing stupid ass games, I'm going to give them stupid ass ways to go, yeah, that didn't really work out so good. So anyway, that's what's going on behind that one. And I am still currently awaiting the new device. Martinez Oswatch, give me 2 seconds here, and I will get to what you're saying here. And so hang on 1 second here. I just want to make sure everything is lining up correctly where it needs to go. So yes, that goes there. And I literally could do this behind the scenes. I could actually go in and tweak the video as it's, obviously going to go into, YouTube and then be processed and all the rest of this fun stuff. But I have now made it into a habit where I go in there and not just really go in there and tweak and tune things, but I want the settings to be as such. I don't want people saying my stuff. I don't want people remixing my things. I don't want people this and that and the other thing with all these other stupid little things that YouTube is thrown in there to go, hey, we think it's really a good idea that we put all these other little what's-its in there that can really just completely sound guy. It's gonna be stop. Okay, it's not. Oh, sound guy, stop that. Anyway, if you guys didn't notice, I am currently wearing my San Francisco Yeah, I'm wearing my San Francisco t-shirt, okay? That's how it's going, okay? I'm wearing the San Francisco t-shirt. So, or t-shirt. So anyway, which I now am just I don't know. I just felt like wearing it for some reason. This sound, guys, stop.
Oh my.
Anyway, so San Francisco.
Oh my.
Nice. Anyway, let me look at the room and see what Martina Sasquatch was saying. Martina Sasquatch, ouch on the laptop. Actually, no, it's not a laptop. Actually, what it's going to be is it's going to be another Samsung tablet that I'm just going to upgrade, and I'm simply just going to podcast off a tablet. Why? Well, I already got 1, 2, 3. I already got 3 laptops. Okay, 2 of them being marginal in terms of technology. The newest one, which could be upgraded, I think. I don't think it'll do 11. It's locked in on 10 because the dirty little secret is 11 actually has a little chip on there that says, I can accept the AI goodness of Windows 11. I don't want AI in my computer, okay? I'm perfectly content with just, rocking a tablet. And this one, of course, like I've said before, my beloved S2 still works. It does run, any of the apps I currently want it to do, still goes on the internet, still goes on web pages. Can I actually still upgrade this further? No, because it's not doing any more newer versions of Android. So it's locked in, I think, Lollipop or, one of those older versions. It's just not upgrading any further. Still works. I'm not throwing away a perfectly good piece of technology. And people still go on the internet and they're like, yeah, these things are still great little units. The picture quality is good, and they are unbelievably skinny. It's scary how thin this thing is. I mean, it is literally, what, 6 millimeters? Yeah, it's like 6, not even 7 millimeters of thickness. This thing's bitty, man. So it's actually a very easy portable slab. I do have the keyboard with the trackpad on it. So basically, maybe 3 pounds. Maybe a little heavier because it's got the battery packs on, the Bluetooth keyboard. And of course, the slab itself has its own, battery pack and what have you. Maybe 3 pounds, but it's infinitely portable, about the same size as roughly like, basically like a big Kindle. Okay. It's a 9.5, 9.6 inch screen or something, decent enough. It does everything I ever wanted to do, except for doing podcasting, except for doing uplink, except for doing the stuff that I really wanted to do on YouTube, which it just won't do because YouTube's like, oh no, it's not new enough. It has to have all these other good things. So we're just going to simply say there's no way in the world we'll let you do it. And every time you plug it in, it won't do it. It just won't do it. So anyway, way, shape, and form, we found ourselves. Hopefully the voice quality is okay. I am kind of doing a bit of a workaround using, basically a really decent microphone plugged into just a smartphone. So unfortunately, you're not getting a lot of field of view. For some reason, I really don't like doing the potato landscape view with, the phone. Okay, I'm sorry. So you get the narrow format potato. So, that's, the kids call it nowadays, the potato format. So anyway, that's where we are with that one. And look in the room, Maternius, ouch on the laptop. So it's not a laptop. I'm looking and I'm waiting for another upgraded tablet, which means now I got to get reimbursed by the first guy to then put that purchase price down onto the next one, because I don't want to recommit, another, multiple hundreds of dollars onto another device while I'm waiting to get repaid on the previous device. Ugh, so annoying. Anyway, so that's where we are on that one. And I'm just waiting to get refunded. So hopefully I get refunded, and it's not going to be, thanks, sound guy, really? Really? Okay, I think he's been watching too many of the Kung Fu movies. Yeah, he's been watching too many of the Kung Fu movies.
Fatality. Relax,
you even doing, dude? He gets in the fart catalog. Martinez taking second attempt behind the wheel. License tomorrow. Blog is live. I'll text you after the first post hits. Okay, dude. Biggest thing I can tell you in terms of like driving tests and what have yous, all your fundamentals. Check your mirrors, seat belt. 10 and 2 for the steering wheel. Obviously, clear every path that you're doing when doing your parking thing. Obviously, remember your proper procedure for doing, your 3-point turn. Obviously, doing your parking. For the ride along, the biggest thing I can always tell you is always, eye checking, signals, proper lane change, obviously situational awareness, all the rest of that good stuff. My niece got her license some years ago, not too many years ago, a couple of years ago. And we went through all the process, and I pretty much gave her some hints. The biggest thing is I made her park appropriately in a parking space, literally by pulling forward and then backing into a space. Made her go through between the lines a couple times, and then it was like, okay, we're going to progress. You're not going to put it between these cars. And she's like, what if I hit one? It's like, then you hit one, but I'm going to be pissed because you're driving my car. Remember, cars are between the lines. You fit between the lines previously. It's not like they suddenly grew and they're all bulbous and impinging upon your areas. Just remember to be cautious and, of course, maintain your control all through the process of doing all the stuff you're doing. Micromanage your driving ability, and pretty soon it just becomes habit. Case in point, I literally, the big thing is always, those people that pull out of parking spaces and don't look left. Ooh, that's my harbinger of doom. Excuse me a second here. So Martinez says, I have all that. I got smacked by the Swiss cheese theory last time. Swiss cheese theory. Time I'll be able to use the Ranger I've been using instead of the big old Ram 1500. Yeah. That's like your classic testing to get like a motorcycle license. You don't test on anything huge. Literally, you get the smallest available motorcycle that you can ride that fits into the actual class of what you're getting the license for. That's what you test on. You want something small, something light, something easy to control. You don't want an 800-pound Harley Davidson or a Goldwing to go, okay, I'm now going to show you my best way to operate this vehicle because there's so much mass there that it's literally going to bite you when you start doing the tight turns. Don't do that, okay? Those guys that make it look easy have been riding bikes forever. The cops that basically do, the grind, the crash bars and all that stuff. They got thousands and thousands and thousands of miles under the belt. Don't do that for a test. Same thing with, driving, car license testing. Do it in the smallest possible vehicle. Do not do it in the biggest vehicle that you're currently available to have. That would be the harbinger of your own doom and complete and total, oh no, that didn't work out. Don't do that to yourself. Anyway, so wait a second before we get into the news. I think you got to be in a cave at this point to not hear about this guy doing it to himself. But supposedly, Senator Mark Kelly, also known as the guy who's actually an astronaut, this guy really lumped himself in with a bunch of dumbasses. Now, supposedly, the whole group of the Seditious Six, supposedly those guys, they're all civilians. Well, he's retired military. Now, if you know anything about commissioned officers, even when you're retired, you're not really retired. You're actually still on a inactive status where you could be recalled because your skill set might be needed during time of national defense, and you could be yanked in to say, buddy, we need you to do what you do so well. So anyway, Mark, being polite here, Mark Kelly decided, he decided he was going to throw his own 2 cents into the ring and lump himself in with the other 5 idiots going, you don't have to follow unlawful orders, which is exactly one of the very first things they tell you in boot camp is the chain of command is the chain of command, and you follow all the lawful orders. If there's an unlawful order, you do not contend to follow it. You question your next level up. If you don't get a good answer, you go to the next level up. until such time that they say, hey, jerkweed, knock it off. It's a lawful order. Continue what you're doing, or you're going to get your ass handed to you, because we are not going to tolerate you being the screw up going, we're going to completely mess up the process. Okay, it's not like that, sound guy. Well, maybe it's a little bit more like that. Jeez. It's not like that, okay? No, it's not. I don't know why he throws that into there. What are you doing? Has to make always statements by blowing it out his ass. What are you doing? Jeez. All right. Well, anyway, Kelly, in his infinite wisdom, is literally the only guy that could have the situation where he gets called back into service, active service, and they say, hey, buddy, you messed up big time, and we hand you your ass. Would you stop? Jeez. Oh, that maybe is just a little bit more appropriate, okay? Anyway, so him being the sound guy, he's not Dookie, okay? He's now a recalled commissioned officer. Yes, just like that. He's a recalled commissioned officer. Anyway, so situation being is they pull him back in the service and they give him a courts martial. Now, the thing about it is dragging him in like that and making him stand in front of a military tribunal, they can go, okay, well, even if we can't drum you out of the service, we can reduce you in the rank and we can make you a buck, gold bar lieutenant. So you are stripped of rank. You're made the bottom guy, and we truly just give you what for, and you truly could just get it to be, well, they just look at you and go, you know what? We're just gonna
blow it out your ass.
That's right. Anyway, so while this guy thinks he's winning this one, he's really not. He was stupid to lump himself in with those guys. And no matter how you phrased the, well, you don't have to listen to unlawful orders if they're unlawful orders, you're sowing dissent in the ranks. And technically, the other five guys, they can find themselves under a felony for instilling morale-dropping stuff into our U.S. military. And it can get really, really... It can get really holy as hit. So anyway, he thinks that he's going to win this one. And so now the Department of War, which was formerly Department of Defense, but the Department of War is considering recalling Senator Mark Kelly, Democrat, to active duty for courts martial proceedings after he encouraged U.S. troops to defy orders from Trump and Hegseth. It is not something lightly taken, even by the retired guys. You just don't do that type of stuff. You just don't. This one, I'm simply going to call this one, Enjoy Your Fate. Excuse me a second here. I got Tiggy juice. So I did a little research on her, and she is a person of Jamaican extraction who came here to these United States and became a judge. So I think she's now a D.C. Circuit Court judge. Her name is Judge Tanya Chutkan, so Chutkan. She's now an activist style of judge. And she allowed Jack Smith his just ridiculous prosecution to go unhindered. So, what happened to her? Well, they didn't fire her, but here's what they did. She's been removed from the bench by the Judicial Ethics Board. The board, which meets biannually, so twice a year, to adjudicate complaints against federal judges, has the power to remove and transfer judges within their own districts. So she was working in Washington, D.C. So what did they do to her? The board chairman, Joseph Barron, said this: Judge Chutkan will be far better suited on the bench in Eastern West Virginia. Oops. She's less likely to come across a case of such importance. Chutkan can expect to live out the rest of her career without anyone ever hearing her name again. Now, let's just put this in perspective. Eastern West Virginia. I don't think she's going to have a case that has near the importance of screwing with Trump, screwing with any presidents, allowing anybody to play these kind of games that they were doing in the federal government with this judicial stuff, and their judicial activism has pretty much been rendered null and void. And she is going to be, well, she's going to be somewhere else. There's no sound guy.
Blow it out your ass.
Sound guy. So she... What are you doing? Stop. So she's going to be all... What was that previous one? Okay, I got it. I now know what Sound Guy was trying to say. He was trying to say she's going to be laying her poop elsewhere. Thanks, Sound Guy. You don't get a ding for doing dog chomps, okay? No. Nice try, okay? No. So she has now been assigned douchebag alert status, okay? Yeah. Anyway, so she is not going to do that ever again. Yeah, so... Sound Guy. She's not going to be able to do it anymore because she's been reassigned to Eastern West Virginia. Personally, I think I would have put her ass down in, like, Mississippi somewhere. But I guess they wanted to keep her, air quotes, local. So anyway, that whole mess about...
Yippee-ki-yay.
Her old yippee-ki-yay. Yeah. Well, was that like the dickhead alert, Sound Guy? Dickhead. Thank you, Sound Guy. So she's attained major... Major dickhead status. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much on that one, Sound Guy. For a second there, I didn't know where you were going. Oh, stop it. Stop that. Man, so she's really getting the... Yeah. Just... Oh, okay, that was her career. Yeah, that was definitely her career. It is definitely getting... No. No, she's getting... Yeah, just full on minor recriminations. Oh yeah, so Tanya, you can enjoy the best parts of Eastern West Virginia. What a silly person playing those games. I don't know if you guys saw this whole thing about like the pissing match between the CEO that left Campbell's. Nose bugged me. Left Campbell's and was like, oh yeah, it's 3D printed chicken, it's bioengineered, blah blah blah, and all the rest of this happy horse stuff. Campbell's is like, oh my word, this mutilated butt fungus on a stick. We can't talk about this except for simply trying to save our bacon. So anyway, so the mutated fungus in dirty water is healthy. Just give me 1 second. So Campbell's is now trying to save their bacon, and they put out a post. I think this may have been on Twitter or something, but Campbell said, "We're proud of the food we make and the high-quality ingredients we use. Our soups are made with 100% real antibiotic-free chicken from the U.S." That's debatable. We're thankful for the millions of people who buy and enjoy our food. Yeah, because this guy was like, "Oh yeah, they make it out of blah blah blah, and only cheap people buy it because it's crap food. I don't eat that stuff." For more than 150 years, we've made the food that we serve at our own tables, and we will continue to do so for anyone who invites us into their homes. We use quality ingredients and real chicken always. So I think it could be said that these guys really, truly are just going, "Oh no." Yeah, critical stop. Yeah, because I think when everybody just looked at that, they were going, yeah, they were not just no, it didn't fall on deaf ears, okay? It did not fall on deaf ears. All right. Anyway, so Campbell's is now trying to say, "Oh, we use real stuff and this, that, and the other thing." Dog pacing is driving me nuts. Let's see. Statements made in recording do not represent Campbell's views, and the person who made them is no longer with the company. Yeah, well, he was on the way out anyway. It's like some CEO or some such. But I think it was like the whole, the whole rare thing going on, and it really truly just became like okay, enough of that sound guy. But yeah, it turned into just a whole bunch of
Enough is enough. I have had it with these mother on this mother plane. Everybody strap in. I'm about to open some windows.
So anyway, this guy in Campbell's. I think pretty much both of them decided to each other up. Wow. Yeah, that's too much cat stuff, okay? Stop. So Campbell's is now looking at this going, "Oh no, if everybody read this, they're just going to be thinking worst things possible and our market stuff is going to go."
But I pooped from there.
Yeah, it's not going to be good, okay? It's just not. Let's see. Scrolly. This is absolutely hilarious and pretty bloody damn obvious to anybody with a heartbeat. So supposedly Hunter Biden was forced to admit that, quote unquote, his art paintings were actually painted by a college student he paid to create it and stay silent. Needless to say, he's also broke. Unfortunately, Biden trusted a fellow Democrat who turned on him at the first chance she got. An unsealed court document says that Biden paid the student more than $300,000 in royalties as a result of a lawsuit. So, pretty much he's a fraud. So he is consistent. He is very consistent. Mrs. Dude told me this was an older picture, but there was a picture on Air Force One where you see Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., and Bob Kennedy, Bob Kennedy Jr., all just Robert, all sitting around the table, and basically there's the turkey on the plane table, and they're all just sitting around, big grins, and the whole schmear and everything. Mrs. Dude told me that was an older picture, but I tend to think these guys are actually still getting along. And obviously, it's been made note that Elon Musk and Trump have pretty much buried the hatchet, and they're now friends again. I think actually what it was Musk was just so pissed off because he put in so much time and effort on Doge and really saw nothing come out of it. So he was really mad. Dog down. Dog down. Dog's being obnoxious. I should have taken off his collar because he's just like walking around and just like, jingling. Anyway, so way, shape, and form, we find ourselves. That's where we are with that one. Hopefully those guys. Hang on a second here. Mrs. Dude's asking me if I want something. Anyway, so way, shape, and form, we find ourselves on that one. Hopefully those guys still stay buddy and everything comes out to work out in the long view, and it is a productive thing. Let's see, scrolly. This one is very, very interesting. Supposedly now there's like this whole gaslighting thing that seems to be happening. Them trying to carry the water for the seditious six. Have you guys heard about this one or not? But now there's supposedly a development in North Carolina. There are billboards that are popping up near military bases encouraging the troops to dissent amongst or against their leadership. That is criminal right there. Just give me 1 second here. And the guys who put those billboards up really should have talked to their legal team because they became accessories after the fact. So there's now a billboard near Fort Bragg directing service members to a website that urges them to reach out through an encrypted chat, raising serious concerns about organized attempts to undermine the chain of command. That is inherently very, very illegal. At the same moment, Congress is debating the seditious six. Outside groups are now openly targeting the U.S. military with messages designed to sow distrust and encourage defiance. This is not activism. This is recruitment for insubordination. Something is happening, and it's escalating fast. So I see this as literally a gaslighting operation by those people who are trying to undercut the military. And really, I'm thinking maybe that it might actually have something to do with all those Venezuelan things going on. And maybe those drug boats getting, el-kerbanged. Because really, when those boats come cruising through and they go, okay, target on. Jeez. Okay, that was a pretty good hang time sound, guy. So anyway, way, shape, and form which we find ourselves, I think that the whole interruption of the drugs being imported into this country, huge impact, because that actually puts a face on just how much stuff is trying to come in country for those guys who are running the drugs illegally and really making it hurt financially. What was that sound, guy? Anyway, so them doing the big kablooies really just makes them go,
And things suck.
anyway, I don't know. I really don't know where sound guy was going with that one. That's a ridiculous hang time, sound guy. Really, really ridiculous hang time, okay? Anyway, so then now playing games on both sides of the equation, trying to install not just sedition, but insubordination amongst the ranks. That's bad stuff, man. Just give me 1 second here. Well, it's also been noted that, Soros Jr., also known as Soros, his kid, has been seen with Mark Kelly and Slotkin. That explains more than a little bit. These guys all hanging out together, and it might be behind the scenes. Something else is going on. I don't know if you guys can see the picture or not, but I posted this one meme I thought was absolutely hilarious. You remember a little while back that they had the picture of Chuck Schumer with the raw hamburgers on the grill with cheese on them and him wearing the apron like he was actually grilling the stuff? Well, there's now a picture. It's probably AI generated, but it's pretty hilarious. Him standing over the turkey coming out of the oven. He's got the knife and fork and he's ready to start hacking away, and it's uncooked. Oh, man. Cooked to perfection on camera. Yipes. Meanwhile, at Chuck Schumer's house. Cannot do it justice. Absolutely hilarious. Have you guys heard about this one? This one is kind of one of these little technological things I think is actually kind of daunting and really doesn't inspire confidence. You know, the thing about it is I think it's 85% of the commercial aircraft currently flying, passenger commercial aircraft that's currently flying around the planet was made by Boeing. Next one down, obviously, is going to be Airbus. Next one down from there is obviously like Embraer and other namesakes and what have yous, and elder aircraft that are still kind of ticking around. But the thing about it is 85% of the commercial aircraft currently flying on the planet right now with people on board is Boeing. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but the Airbus A320, which is pretty standard. I forget how big it is. Hang on one second. Hear me punched up real fast. Let's see. Airbus A320. Bam. So the Airbus A320. Let's see. Narrow body aircraft. Let me see the specs real fast. I can decode it from that. The exit limit, which is basically how many people physically can be on board the plane to reach, exits out in case of emergency within 90 seconds. The short version is 136 passengers. The next one up is 160. The biggest one is 180 and 236 passengers. But that thing's got to be stretched, man. And literally what it is they say there's a certain number of people that can make it out the exits by a certain time period. And that is what's referred to as the EASA, or the exit limit. So the actual size of this thing is, I would think, very close and akin to the 737. Wait a second here. Do it real quick. See, that's the thing, is all Boeing planes are usually 7 series. So 320 versus 737, which plane is best? Very visually similar. 320 has more rounded nose, while the 737 is a sharp pointed nose. Let's see. There's also the winglets on the ends of the wings. Let me try to find an actual decent website here. Battles fierce when Airbus entered the scene with the 1980s with the 320. 737's been around for a long time. 737 next generation, which is the 600, 700, 800, and 900. New wing, new avionics, more fuel efficient engines, this and the other thing. Followed later, but more advanced features. So obviously, it's a newer design. They can include newer stuff, but stuff gets revamped as it comes along, and it gets obviously newer generations, new stuff added on board. Obviously, they make the things do more stuff. Plane, sound guy, plane, not boat, plane. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was you, dude. That was you. Anyway, so weight, shape, and form is 20% more fuel efficient. Obviously, can be longer, can carry more people. The 737 MAX is out at just under 200 passengers. I think it's like 189, 188, and that's mostly because of door limits. I think the 737 MAX is like 5 doors. So the EASD, the maximum exit, parameters of how many people per 90 seconds getting out, that's the limit. So it's 5 doors. So anyway, looking at that thing, weight, shape, and form. Yeah. Yeah, Slotkin. Yeah, she can definitely be roasted on that one. Hopefully. Okay. So this one is kind of daunting though. So basically, the 737 and the 380 are pretty closely comparable. 380 can be a little longer, obviously, so it can carry more people, have more doors. The thing about it is there's been some high sunspot activity, or CMEs, coronal mass ejections, translates a lot of ionized radiation going through and making a lot of electromagnetic interference in the atmosphere and what have you. So the 380 got well, I don't know how you would say it other than it maybe got just a little bit cooked. I mean, how can you really say it other than technology being what it is? It got a little bit cooked. So it really, okay, it's not going back in time in a DeLorean, sound guy. It's not, okay? It's not. It's not. Anyway, so the 320 got cooked with this CME or sunspot activity, and the electromagnetic radiation freaked out the computer. So much so that you're trying to go down, like push the stick to go down, and the plane was going, nope, not doing it. And other times it was going, hey, time to dive. It's like, oh, crap. Everybody get thrown around the plane because they weren't expecting it. So, have we roasted Waltz yet? No, not yet. But, give it time. So anyway, what happened was the programming got cooked. Sound guy, no, not like.
Fatality.
Okay, it's not like that. Anyway, so sound guy needs to probably just chill out a little bit.
Oh my.
Okay, yeah, you need to relax. Don't do it. Okay, don't. Stop. Jeez. Would you stop with that one? Jeez. Anyway, so what they're having to do is literally the engineer has to get on the plane with this big honking block of a laptop kind of a looking thing. And so they plug this portable data loader into the plane, into the avionics panel, and it's loading new software into the aircraft's elevator and aileron computer, or the ELAC, the system that turns pilots' inputs into movements of the wings and tail. Translation, you're either going to be going up, going down, or the computer goes, you know what? Not feeling it, man. Not. Sound guy. Okay, were you just downloading or something? Okay, that's not the bit stream we're talking about.
You've got mail.
I really, truly have no idea what he's going on about on this one, okay? I really, truly don't know.
Oops, I dropped my gerbil.
Okay, no, the computer didn't. No, the computer didn't suddenly turn gay. I stop that. I stopped that one. The computer didn't suddenly turn gay and lose its gerbil, okay? Sound guy. No, computers don't work like. Computers don't work like that. Okay, maybe it was like that last one. All right. So Airbus is having problems with their computer. Yeah, because the OEOs work. I don't even know why I'm engaging him on this one, okay? I don't even know why I'm engaging him on this one, okay? Okay, it doesn't do that, all right? No, it does not do, like, why am I trying to talk to computers to him, man? Jeez. Anyway, sound guy being sound guy. Stop. Yeah, it's language like that. It makes you get beeped. Okay. What are you doing? What? Just what? What? All right, let me go back to the story, please. May I? Thank you. The work follows emergency orders from the European and U.S. regulators after investigators found that intense solar radiation can corrupt the ELAC data. So elevator and aileron data on the 320 family aircraft, triggering brief uncommanded pitch down events. So basically, you're flying along, pitch down is not good. Like the one that injured passengers on JetBlue flight 1230 from Cancun to Newark and forced an emergency landing in Tampa. Whoops. Airbus and safety agencies say the 6,000 A320 family jets worldwide need either a software rollback or, in some cases, in some aircraft, a hardware change before they return to normal service. That's big, big. That's bad juju there. Airlines report that Airlines report that each software job typically takes around 2 hours per plane, and in some cases longer when hardware must be swapped. Translation: they plug it in and the computer just goes, no, not feeling it, not gonna do it. And it's not going to allow you to do it because it's just going to go. Sure. Death by chomp chomp. Yeah. Critical stop. All right. So anyway, the problem is with this, it's not snoo. Sound guy. Oh, okay. He's putting it very crudely, but he's saying there's no snoo. Translation: the plane's not working correctly. Right?
You're despicable.
Despicable snoo. Sound guy, no. Yeah, exactly. Critical stop. Thank you. So basically, they have to reflash the thing. If it's unaccepted, they have to change out the hardware. Then they have to reflash the hardware they put in. 2 hours, this and the other, which is why tech op teams have been working around and through the night to try to get one aircraft after another cleared for service. Yipes. Glad I usually fly on Boeing. Did fly on an Embraer once. And seem to remember it's an okay aircraft. I think it was actually kind of one of those twin row things. It wasn't a turbojet. It was actually a jet aircraft, but it was small. So it was fairly narrow, 2 rows. It was all right. I didn't think it was all that bad. It was fine. Scroll. To this, I have to say, Wall Street Journal is really kind of reaching here and going, we're not gaslighting anymore. It's perfectly fine to let these guys in and be how they are. Yeah, well, really, you blame one firearm, one American, one president. You know what? Screw your feelings, Wall Street Journal. They are an active threat if they're doing these things. You let these guys in under your president, unchecked. So now the Wall Street Journal is saying, Afghan refugees shouldn't be blamed for the violent act of one man. Really? That's completely counterpoint to the way that you guys say anything in terms of anything. If it includes anything to do with the other side of the aisle, you say immediately everybody is painted by the same brush, just as guilty, and they really truly are just as truly guilty as the whatever it is that you're finding such butthurt about that you have to go, oh my stars and garters. I don't know where that one's coming from, Sound Guy. But anyway, you put the blame on everybody for the one person's actions, and you truly say that that guy... Okay, yeah, that guy was the one that basically was the... Yeah, didn't even let me finish, Sound Guy. That guy was the one who really was the bad guy that committed the act and not the whole group. Oh, thank you so much for your acquiescence on that one. So Wall Street Journal, typical leftard rag. You guys are just douchebags. Truly douchebags. Scrolly. This one is kind of really just ew, and I do mean like really just ew. Yeah, it's really ew. So anyway, Sweden is now vowing a crackdown on, of all things, 1 meter tall or basically 39-inch tall dolls, and I do mean of like adult entertainment variety dolls, shall we say? So the SEX variety of entertainment dolls. So Sweden, this is coming from Breitbart.com. Sweden is vowing a crackdown on illegal childlike SEX dolls. So they say that the Swedish government has promised on Friday to fight the sale of childlike dolls, the middle word there, online after instances of such commerce has been reported earlier in the country. This is kind of sketch. Quote, I think I'll react on behalf of all parents when I say that, as a mother, your heart really breaks watching these images and pictures of these dolls. Sweden's Minister for Social Services, Camilla Waltersson Gronvall, told the Associated Press. The Swedish government wants to, quote, make sure that these products cannot be any more sold or bought anywhere, she said. She spoke after a meeting with the Swedish government on Friday in response to several notable cases of e-commerce companies selling childlike SEX dolls. According to the statement by her ministry, child protection groups, online vendors, and government agencies participated. Translation, they're finding these things on Amazon. Yipes. So online platforms describe the measures making sure that these kinds of products are no longer sold online. Asking whether ministry considers the measures sufficient. I've been very clear. We will follow this very closely. We will not hesitate to take further action, which might include further legislation if that is deemed necessary. Translation, you're going to piss and moan to Amazon and say, you, Thor's Hammer, cannot sell this stuff here. Okay, so that's your regulation in place. You'll make it so they cannot sell it in Sweden. Great. For the whole rest of the planet, these guys can go, hey, it's time to creep out and perv out on these half-sized dolls. It is going to be absolutely epic. Okay, I don't know about that last part, Sound Guy, but I think those guys are looking at these smaller dolls and yeah, government's preparing a strategy to protect children from violence, which included steps to prevent overly friendly adult interaction and online abuse. I'm trying to keep it clean, folks. So the online sale of disputed dolls in Sweden came to public attention after a child protection group called Child X filed a police report against Amazon and several other e-commerce platforms earlier this month over the sale of these dolls with clear childlike appearances. Yipes. The products, approximately 1 meter in length, are often dressed in school uniforms and marketed in a content that is inappropriate. I'm trying to be very clean here. The group said, Swedish legislation prohibits material that portrays children in a manner that is, well, too hot for the old guys to, not look at it and go, drool, drool, blah, blah, The sale or distribution of lifelike, childlike dolls thus falls under the criminal provisions related to child exploitation. Trying to keep it clean here, folks. Also, speaking by phone, the EP said that the police complaint against Amazon and other sites for selling childlike dolls, together with public advocacy, led to the removal of these listings on Amazon. Okay, you could go on Amazon right now and you could type in adult entertainment devices, shall we say. You could think of different phrasing to make it appropriate, okay? Let's just say you put in there adult entertainment devices, and you will have scads of listings. And I do mean scads of listings. Somebody's, you're looking at them, it's like, wow, that chick looks like a model. They really dressed her up nice and did the pose and everything. And, it's really kind of, hot almost, shall we say. Except for the fact, the thing is basically plastic. So anyway, also going further, strict policies and guidelines in the segment of adult products always strictly prohibited child porn. An Amazon spokesperson was quoted to a French daily Le Monde on November 12. So November, France's government said it's moving towards suspending access to the Shine online marketplace until it proves its content conforms to French law after authorities found illegal weapons and childlike dolls for sale on the fast fashion giant's website. Yipes. So it's out there, folks. These guys are creeping out on little kid, looking dolls and saying, hey, these are hot. Yeah, full on hot. Just give me 1 second here. I don't know if you guys remember that really kind of strange ad that Jaguar did the other day. I'm sorry, the last year. It was the Jaguar copy nothing ad where they have like these really strange fashionista looking kind of creepazoids. And it's all like weird pastel colors. And they're saying, we're different now. We're not copying anything. We're Jaguar. Well, I think, and it could be said that this is the first step that officially killed woke. Before Joe Biden and Kamala Harris lost, Jaguar chucked it harder than that porn chick that boned 1,000 guys in one day. Thanks, Jaguar. You helped immeasurably in that regard. Besides, that picture looked like a recruitment poster for the leftard army of deviants and mental defectives. So thank you so much for completely screwing up the process of the woke agenda. You guys really did completely admirably in that regard. Thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing on your part. And if anybody can lay claim to those guys who really grabbed that flag and were like, we are the woke, blah, blah, blah. Well, you were more than the woke, blah, blah, blah. You were the woke agenda, the whole umbrella of everything gone way too far into complete and total ridiculousness. You guys did this, and you did it to yourselves, and oh my stars and garters, wow, you completely just blew it out of the water. I cannot begin to tell you how many people looked at that ad and were like, oh, no, not even, oh, no, but just, no. Immediately, it was just one of those things where everybody was like, generically going, I don't know why this has anything to do with a car ad, because it is stupid as hell. One of my friends posted up something on Facebook, and I had a little fun with it. So that whole Tropic Thunder thing with, the don't go full retard thing, I had a little fun with it. So I said, look, the guy obviously speaking, look, you never go full retard or socialist. Waltz and Harris, too damn socialist for the average person. Bernie Sanders, nah. That retard went full commie. You want to stop at Obama. Now that guy stopped short, but did the for real behind closed doors. That one I think was just pretty much on point, me having fun. This one I think is absolutely kind of unusual, but might be a side effect of the whole legalization of marijuana, but supposedly coming in from Breitbart. Persistent vomiting is being caused by chronic cannabis use, now seen as an official disorder. Whoops. So if you're smoking too much weed, you could be, backwashing a little bit of the last one. This one, speaking of vomiting, I cannot begin to tell you just how much this cracks me up. Making the big show about Thor's hammer. We're leaving the States because Donald Trump was elected president. Yeah, so supposedly Ellen DeGeneres and Portia, whatever her name is, they're moving back from the UK and going back to California. Why? Not because Trump's out of office. Oh, because it's wintertime in the UK and it's bloody freaking cold. They're a bunch of Californians trying to live in a cold climate, and they haven't adjusted in the slightest. Wow, and more wow. Also coming in from Breitbart, so there's been a poll. 63% of people now believe that a 4-year college degree is not worth doing it. So for you screaming memeites that are getting the liberal arts and female social justice degrees, and you think it means something? Nope. It doesn't mean squat there, sweet cheeks. You just spent 4 years of your life wasting your time. Oops. This one, I think, is completely, obviously transparent. Those guys who are screwing with Putin now, they're not doing so good because Putin's obviously ready to just keep throwing everything at it. Men, munitions, material. He really, truly just doesn't care. But Europe is thinking of putting the cherry on top of the stinking pile of dog dookie. They are really thinking of a preemptive strike as a defensive action. I only got this to say about it. If they start this crap, I strongly suggest letting Russia kick their asses and do not drag their balls out of the fire again after World War I, World War II. How many other times have we assisted Europe in all the stupidity they brought upon themselves? And this is after NATO was saying, we're not going to be pejorative, because when Russia took their nukes back from outside their borders into Ukraine, because Ukraine did have nuclear weapons, there was an agreement where they basically were talking to NATO, and NATO said, look, we know the stands are going to become free states. We're not going to hang flags in there. So what did they do? They broke that agreement, and they started sticking NATO flags all along the western and northeastern border alongside of Russia, screwing with Putin. And Putin was like, all right, well, I don't want to be pejorative here. I'll draw back. Finally, he said, you know what? I'm not drawing back anymore. Ukraine is mine. You're not going to go through Ukraine and invade my country again. I know history, and that's the way that the Germans came through with the SS troops. They came in through Ukraine. So, this time, NATO started hanging all these flags and doing all this stuff, and they kept poking the Russian bear again and again, thinking that Putin will just continue to allow himself to be jacked with. I say this time, if they start something, let NATO get their asses kicked and let them lose bad. Because 3,000 miles away, they're dragging us yet again into their fight. We don't need to fight for those guys right now when they started it. Let's see. Scrolly. if you guys are a foreign national and you went through one of the dirty driving schools, guess what? That school, 3,000 of them are getting ready to lose their accreditation right now because you're turning out drivers that are not properly trained up to drive tractor trailers in these United States. Or you did it with somebody that does not speak English enough to read the road signs. So driving dirty and without real creds, your school is going to go bye-bye. So Sean Duffy is officially shutting down migrant driver CDL mills that crank out drivers illegally in these United States. Let's see. Anything else jumping out at me? Anything else jumping out? No, I think that's basically all the stories I got at this time. Oh, I'm over an hour. Yay. All right, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Good stuff like that there. I will catch you guys next week, and let's do something sooner. You get a gold star for attendance, even if you weren't in the chat room. I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Good stuff like that there. I will see you next week, and I will catch you then. Patron Fever, appreciate you coming on by, dude. What do I think of Cory Booker's? Oh, yeesh. Yeah, well, Cory Booker, it's enough said right there. Oof. Wow. All right, folks, I'm going to break for this one. Eager Camping Center, as always, you know you love it. I will see you guys next week. Good stuff like that there. I will see you then. Hopefully, I have the new technology next week. Hopefully. Yipes. See you guys. Ernest!